without further ado, let's introduce the speaker and go into our speaker today is Anna Lee. Anna has a background primarily in accounting. She is a certified CPA, and because of her background, she specializes in highly technical sale-leaseback transactions and lease accounting. So she really knows what she's talking about when it comes to the numbers and the clients, and that's what today she'll be talking to us about analyzing appraisal of a property based on the lease, etc. She'll get into some numbers. If you're afraid of numbers today, I warn you. She does have a book. She has a couple of copies of today. She also put out back in 2008 on commercial real estate investment tools. It's a handbook on the accounting, taxes, finances, and appraisal and legal subjects for both seasoned and new brokers and other real estate professionals. I met Anna when she, over in Oakland, she was at CCIM. She was in the Walnut Creek office, and now, a couple of months ago, she moved down here to the San Jose office of Grubb & Ellis. So without further ado, Anna Lee.
Thank you, the sponsor, Mr. Wheeler. Mr. Wheeler tracked me down fast when I got up here. Thank you for all that. And thank you, Ron. And I'm Anna Lee. Hopefully, we will enjoy the rest 40 minutes to learn some numbers. How many of you are bankers here? Quite a few. How many brokers? Almost identical number. How many appraisers here? Any? Developers? Anyone I didn't cover? Attorneys? Contractors. Okay.
Management.
Pardon me?
Property management.
Oh, okay. Property management. So we have all the related real estate field people here. And this time of the economy, we know it's tough, right? It's tough for everyone. How many of you still enjoy everything? You do. That's great. Compared with 2, 3, or 4 years ago, right? It is tougher. So as part of what I do, I work very close with banks. And banks often invite me to give them a seminar or training on all kinds of subjects like appraisal report. I'm sure every one of you sitting here, doesn't matter if you brokered represent landlord or represent the tenants, or you do transaction investment like I do, you and the lenders, property management, the bottom line you care is the property value, isn't it? The underlying property value. Don't matter what the other people say. You got to know exactly how much your property really worth. What's the real value of that? That is why I'm here to talk about the basic understanding of appraisal report. I pick up one little simple example, and let's get on because we only have about 40 minutes. Oops, we need to move this bottle here. We want to know the limitations and the potential, all kinds of deficiencies of an appraisal report. Not here to criticize anybody in appraisal report, because I'm not a MAI, okay? I use my financial accounting management standpoint to point out what I see in appraisal report and coordinate with my investment real estate experience. So I sort of marry these two together and give you a point of view. We normally use direct capitalization approach. And we also use discounted cash flow approach and the sales comparison approach. Mostly, the discounted cash flow approach is now being used by appraisers. Whenever you have a chance, look at an appraisal report. Flip through, you will see most of them would use this direct capitalization report, a method, or use the sales comparison. Say, what property being sold is similar to this property. But that's the word. Similar is important. How similar are they? Are they really comparable or not? Okay, so that's what we're going to discuss today. And then after I give you this real case study, after that I will show you how this cap rate and how they all come together. So we have a good understanding of appraisal report, what we should look after or look out for when we read one. Okay, no matter what field you're in. Protect bankers, protect borrowers, protect everyone, property owners. Facts and the potential deficiencies. I point out the 4 things on this page, and then I have others on next page. In this case report, this is a real case, okay? This thing was done 2 years ago. United Commercial Bank asked me to give them a 4 hours training. And that training specifically want to cover appraisal report. So that's the topic I did for them. And 2 months later, it was, I guess that, they invited me too late. 2 months later, big article on the paper, it says their financial statements materially misstated. And you know what that meant, right? In accounting term, that means fraud. Okay? So if I was in there a little bit earlier, that at least may help to prevent that a little bit, but it was a little bit late. Anyway, so this property was at San Pablo because they wanted to talk about apartments. At the time, that's the apartment report I have. It's only a 6-unit apartment appraisal report. And the property was built in 1962. You can see it's an old property. Okay, and the report was done, the appraisal report was done as of 2008. So you need to know when it was done. So that relates to the marketing material, marketing value appraiser pull from, right? So forecast the vacancy rate at that time was 3%. Now, why do we need to know 3% or 5% or 10% vacancy? Your total rent revenue minus your vacancy reserve and your bad debt collection loss. It's your effective income. Okay, that's first step. This is related accounting. You probably don't like accounting, but in order to go through appraisal report, you got to know accounting a little bit. Okay, at least a little bit. Anyway, so I said the minimum requirement 5%. Now, how many? How much? 20, 30, 50? You name it, okay? But back then, I used 2008 number, minimum 5. 2008 actually crash already started, but people didn't think it's going to go this way, this bad, right? This is almost like a Great Depression, a little bit better, I say, right? Not a whole lot better. Anyway, and then the underestimated amount between the 3% and 5%, $1,400, okay? This all relate to later on the property value, so I want you to see the number. And then the maintenance and the repair, $75 a unit. No way it would be $75 a unit. Minimum, if you talk to bankers, mostly they will tell you about $230 to $350 a unit. So I put a number, I say $300 a unit down there. Okay? So it's a 1 cent versus $35 a square foot. That's way understated. That's like nothing. They didn't do anything. Okay? Replacement reserve. The top 3, 4 are the items most appraisers or most property owners, whoever, when they make a financial statement, they overlook. Okay? So the number 3, replacement reserve, they didn't put anything, 0. It should have at least $300 a unit. What if your air conditioning go out, right? Middle of summer, very hot, all kinds of things, or somebody's shower doesn't work, or dishwasher, or toilet all plugged up, that kind of thing. You have to have all that reserve. I don't mean repair, I mean replacement. Okay? So then you have offsite management. This is one thing. If you are the manager yourself, you own the property, you manage the property, guess what? Most of you do not report the expense. So minimum you reported really 5%. This appraisal report used 3%. So far you can see everything is understated for expenses. Okay? Yes. So continue. Operating expense. Total operating expense appraised at 31%. But next page you will see it really should be at least 40%. Okay? Weighted factor for adjustments made. Tell me something. You know, if a property is 10 miles away, compared with this property sit right here, how do you say what kind of adjustment that should be made? That's entirely subjective. Your size of property, your location of property, your amenity of property, all those items. So this appraisal report I look at basically adjust very little, and some of them really should be adjusted a lot more. Okay? I didn't go into list item by item. Today we only have 40 minutes. Anyway, then discounted cash flow method is not used. I talked to a few bankers. I asked them, I say, why did you not ask for discount cash flow? The answer is, normally appraiser will charge additional fee because it's not a common practice. Appraiser will say, if you wanted, I charge you additional $500 to $1,000 because it's more work. Okay, a lot more work, so they don't do it. But that actually is the most important part. Okay. Now, overall, the operating expense should be almost $29,000, and the reported 21.9. Okay, $22,000. So right there, it's about $7,000 discrepancy. That $7,000 doesn't look big because it's a small property, but if you use that $28,780 as operating expense, your effective net income minus operating expense is your net operating income, right? Net operating income then divided by your $770,000, now you have a 5.4% cap rate. You are told cap rate is 6.5. You see what I'm talking about? So you thought you were buying a property, lender, you thought you were making a loan on 6.5% cap rate. You actually end up to pay only 5.4. 5.4 is bad. That means your risk is low, you're happy. So you're willing to accept less cap rate. So in reality, you're doing only 5.4. Yes. So you really, if you use that 5.4% cap rate, your property really only worth $643,000. You see how much difference versus $770, $123,000 difference. So you're overpaying, yes. Cap rate is done under assumption there is no loan. It's cash basis. You didn't borrow anything, you paid 100% cash. So when you pay 100% cash, your rate of return on investment and your cap rate is identical thing. It is the same thing. You see what I'm saying? We didn't talk about commission. We didn't talk about capital expenditure. We didn't talk about taxes. We cut off at net operating income. So at that point, it's identical. It is your actually return on your investment and your cap rate. Yes?